Bring your awareness to your breath, focusing on the sensation of the air entering into your body and leaving your body. Make sure your watchfulness is active, so keeping your watchfulness on your mind, making sure that if the mind strays, your watchfulness rings the alarm bell, and then you bring your awareness back to your breath. Visualize the golden room. You're sitting in the golden room. There's afternoon sunlight streaming in through the windows. You feel it on your body. It's lighting up the entire space. This golden, luminous light. Go to the window, look out the window into the sky. The blue sky stretching off into the distance, limitless. Look down across the valley of trees, and in the distance you see mountains. Everything lit by the same beautiful, luminous sunlight, afternoon sunlight. And then you're sitting down. Your teacher is sitting in front of you. And look into their eyes. And then keep your awareness focused on their eyes. Just looking into their eyes. That's all that there is, just their eyes. keep making effort to stay on their eyes. And then bring your awareness back to this room, your awareness back to your breath. And then slowly open your eyes.
I just want to say something about the meditations. We're trying to teach you a variety of ways to focus on your teacher, right? And I just want to go, so far we've done just their presence, right? Just being in their presence and what that feels like. And that's almost like a psychic or an emotional kind of focus, right? We've done just the face, which is more abstracted, but still that kind of like loving connection that you have. There are the eyes, and that face can be both visual and emotional. It's all going to be emotional, right? The eyes, which is intensely visual, right? Looking at somebody else's eyes is it's very much about your ocular experience, right? So and you can make that focus very, very pointed. Right? And I want to just give you a verbal instruction, and we'll do this, probably not this time, maybe in the workshop we'll do it. There's a really nice way to work on intensifying your focus, like if you're having problems with dullness, where you see their eyes, and then you see another set of eyes, smaller inside those eyes, and then you focus on those eyes. Then you have like half them again, and you focus on those, and you half them again, and you focus on those, and you half them again, and you focus on those, and you go down until the size of grains of rice. And you can see, like, just psychologically, you're doing this. You're narrowing your focus by doing that. But you're continuing to bring up that intense sense of love and connection that you feel when you're staring into this being's eyes. So it's a nice way. So especially, so for days when I'm feeling a little more dull, I'll do that one. We taught you the one of the hands, and that's a very tactile one, especially for people who are more tactile. And I also find it very grounding because it's down here. So use that. Use these. These are all tools. Every single one is a tool. And then we're going to teach you another one next week that Michael's going to lead. Where your Lama holds you in her arms. Okay, you'll do that one next week? Mm-hmm. Okay, good, thanks. Okay, so we're going to talk about, so one more thing about the chart, and then Jamie's going to do her thing.
The different...
we don't have to.
Okay.
Because it's 8:20 and she needs to go see her like in 1 minute.
Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to say something about being intimidated by the chart somewhat, because it's sort of like... if you reflect on your own, like where you are, you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't know, am I even at level 1? It's like, you really, I'm
still sleeping in the temple then.
Yeah, it's like,
without some naps or something.
You're like in the green room of the stages of meditation. It's like, you and the rabbit. Right before the rabbit comes in, you guys are like, just kind of like chatting. So I think it's really, so for me, I find it intimidating because I really, as much as I try to, do my best to do my meditation, it's, like, wow, can I even keep it on the object for like 30 seconds? I think it's really challenging. But then, what also I think I love about this chart is that it's very inspiring, because when you see like the possibilities and when you get to the descriptions of like the higher levels of meditation, it's like, it's so beautiful and profound, just like the kinds of experiences that you would have, and just like your ability to really understand things and to perceive, like this, grand idea of perceiving some kind of ultimate truth, or ultimate truth itself. But even along the path, just this idea of like the intense pleasure, that Chelsea's talking about, this like deep, serotonin,
I
rush.
said it wasn't a good thing.
Right. But as you go,
yes, you get more of it. Yes, you get more.
You get more of that, and it's there's as you get through. So I just want to acknowledge that I just with my own experiences, like I find the chart and the whole description of the path to be intimidating, but at the same time, it's like, wow, this is just so extraordinary, and then I think from there I just try to work on, well, how can I make my meditation better? Like what things can I do? Just like things like clearing out your space and all the conditions and preconditions and stuff like that. But also it's I think like Adib was saying last week when someone asked a question. It's really even if you're at level 1 or 2. It's such a good feeling, just to do your meditation on a daily basis and to have that continuity, even when you're just really, finding that you're not able to keep focused, or it's just for me, like, like you've said, there are days when you're just like, oh man, like I don't want to meditate. It could be like you're depressed, or you just like you're so busy and you have so much going on, but like some of the most beautiful things sometimes happen at those moments. You're just like, I just don't feel like it. I'm like really sad, whatever it might be. You sit down in your meditation, and I'm not saying it happens all the time, but like it's,
promise me.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but something beautiful can happen, and you never know when it's going to happen. It's sort of like an art practice in a way. Like sometimes if you're a writer or a painter or something like that, you just have to create the space for it to happen. You write every day, you make art every day, and you just never know when that revelation is going to happen. So I just think it's really just try to give yourself the opportunity to experience that, and you'll definitely have ups and downs. There's no doubt about it. That like, Lord knows, like I'm sure that you've experienced this, but you're just like, you have this doubt. You're like, why am I doing this? This is crazy. Like, am I progressing? All these doubts that come up, but I can say from my own experience, like it's completely 100% worth it. And if you need help from other people meditating together, go seek it out. Just try to do whatever is going to be conducive to you. Don't overwhelm yourself with long meditations. Do shorter meditations. Start with 5 minutes, whatever it is. It's just essential because you're just building that continuity, and you're giving yourself the opportunity for something very profound to happen.
The last thing I wanted to say is that next week, when you'll finish the chart, and then you're also going to, I'll give you this. I'm just telling them what they're going to do. I'm not going to be here next week. So there's what differentiates the different stages is actually really interesting, and it's how you tell the difference between those stages. And I find it really helpful to meditate on the 9 stages and see myself moving from level to level. And it's a review meditation, right? That's not a single pointed meditation. That's a review meditation. But what happens when I do that is that I'm pretending in my mind, right, that I'm at level 6, right, or that I'm moving through the levels, and then I'm pretending I'm at level 8, and then I'm 9, right, and then I'm seeing emptiness directly, and I'm telling you, you feel different at the end of that than you did at the beginning. It's a very powerful seed, and so when you feel intimidated by the chart, what I'm saying is one of the ways you manage feeling intimidated by the chart is see yourself moving through it in your mind. It's very powerful. The other thing too is that, and I feel like I've said this before, but I want to say it again, in following up what Jeremy said. You can either be frustrated by being at level 1 or level 2 or level 3, or you can be really interested in what's going on, right? There are tools. It's not magic. You learn it, and it will happen. Every single person's mind who's here, everybody's mind of the people who are here is capable of this. 100%. All the way to the top. Through the roof. Over the rainbow. Every single one of you. Just neurologically, right? You have it. You do not have the capacity. Said it another way, you have the capacity, right? You use the tools, it will work. It's going to be a lot of work, but it will work. So in California, this is actually I think the fourth law of karma. I think the third law. You tell me. When I was growing up in California, they had a tagline for the lottery, which was, "You can't win if you don't play." And I feel like that is the tagline for this too, right? You're not going to make any progress if you don't do anything. But if you do something, the third and fourth laws of karma, if you do something, something will happen. If you do nothing, for sure you're not going to make any progress. So think about that. Okay. So we left you 3 minutes, but you can go over.
I'll be very quick, everybody.
You won't, but it'll be really important.
All right.
You want to?
I'm just go to the
Oh, can you go to the board?
blackboard.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things that helped me get my meditation to another level was starting to keep the book, which you've heard us talk about throughout the last 4 classes. And basically, it's a way to keep track of what is going on in your daily life, your actions towards others, your thoughts, the good and bad things that are happening every day. And the way to start out, usually, you start out with looking at the 10 non-virtues. So I'm just going to give you a visual of what the book looks like. So, and who has a book in here? Hold it up. Please keep me a book. So mine was like a small book, Chelsea has a medium. Mine's like this. Danielle's, yeah. So,
Why are you making the picture so small?
anyway,
So teeny.
so you take 2 pages. Sorry, I just messed up. Sorry. You're making me nervous, Chelsea.
I'm sorry.
So you have like this, and then that. So when I wake up in the morning, I do my gratitude, lay in bed and think about all the things I'm grateful for, and then I do this.
Draw a picture.
I draw a picture and I write meditation. And then I sit down and I meditate. And I basically just write like 1 or 2 things that I notice in my meditation. Like I was on the object pretty good, but I didn't have intensity, or my lawn looked really beautiful today. Like something to rejoice about as well. And then, an hour later, you open a book again, and there are 6 boxes. And there are 10 things that you can focus on for the day. And I just pick 6, and the ones that I need to work on the most, just based on my experience. And I'll just list the 10.
And some people just go through them in order too.
So like the most common are the first 6, which I'll talk about now. So the first one is protecting life.
Which is the positive version of the non-virtue.
Right. So you write protecting life, and you have pluses and minuses. And that goes for all of them. Pluses and minuses. So good and bad under each category. And in protecting life, I cooked a meal for my friends. I'm nourishing their bodies. That's a plus. And we can also, I want to talk about karma, but I don't think I have time. But there are things in our lives that are affected by us not being careful about these things. And if you're prone to illness, then you want to really protect life and take care of others as best you can. Don't bump into them, be really gentle with people. And if, say you're really sick, then try to find somebody who is sick as well and take care of them, and that will help you karmically to get better. So that's the first one, and you'll figure out what you're doing on a day-to-day basis that this makes sense for you. So the second one is stealing. So it's like the Ten Commandments or the Old Testament, like no killing, no stealing, no lying, no, it's that list.
So that's the negative version. The positive version is protecting other people's property.
Right, protecting other people's property.
I think the one important thing you can say about karma, the quickie thing about karma, is that within this belief system, like creates like.
Right, so the two things that I would say is if I do a good deed, then it can only result in a good ripening, a good thing happening in the future. And if I do a bad deed, then it will only result in a bad thing in the future. So that's, And then the other thing is, you do a deed and it starts off really small. And then what it ripens into is much bigger. So you have to be really aware of what you're doing. And so this is a really great thing to do. So for stealing or protecting other people's property, it's pretty self-explanatory. But what I didn't know that I found out recently is, like, if you have trouble with your finances, your instability in the financial situation, then you need to pay more attention to this one, number 2. Like, you need to. So I'm doing that as well. The third one.
Don't take paper clips from work.
Yeah, don't talk on the phone to your friends at work, because that's company time. Right? We all have little things. One thing that I am very conscious of is I go to Whole Foods and I do the prepared food bar, and I want so bad to just pop a chickpea in my mouth, but it's they weigh it, I've already taken it. There's no way to pay for what I just put in my mouth. So the third one is sexual misconduct.
Get a T there.
Sexual.
That's a word these days.
Oh, right, sexting.
I live in Brooklyn.
No sexting. That's what this is really like.
Yeah. Sorry. Misconduct. So one of the sweetest things that I practice every day is when I see a happy couple, I will take a moment, stop, and really try to be happy for them. So that's really good karma to do to help you in your own relationship and stuff like that. What else?
I think you should give an example of what
is
a negative.
A negative.
A really obvious one. Do a really obvious one.
Okay, obvious is you're spending time with someone else's boyfriend, and even you're not doing anything, but it's inappropriate, stuff like that, or looking at another person's partner with lust is no. It's a big no-no, because it just promotes when you get a partner that someone's going to do that to your partner. So you're trying to create stability in your life, and also when you sit down to meditate and you're doing your preliminaries and you're confessing and you're rejoicing. When you're doing this book every single day, you know exactly what it is that you are rejoicing about and what you are, confessing. So the fourth one is lying or telling the truth. So this, if you're really good with this one and you are constantly telling the truth, then you're just promoting people seeing you with integrity, and there's less self-doubt in your world the more you're telling the truth. So yeah, I think the most common thing for us is overcommitting to things that we just run out of time. As New Yorkers, we want to do it all, but there's just not enough time.
And Dharma people too.
Day. We overcommit, and that's not good.
So we don't keep our commitments.
You should say, instead of I'll do that, that you'll try to do that. You make the best effort that you can by people asking you to do stuff. So just be careful about committing to things that you can't do. And yeah. So then the fifth one is divisive speech, which the easiest thing that I can think is like in a work scenario. Somebody like messed up and you have this opportunity to like say something to the boss, but you decide not to because you don't want to create like a bad relationship between them. Like you're protective of other people's connections, and you promote like people, like matching people together. Like, oh, you do graphic design, I know this person who wants a project. Like you bring people together. So that falls under that category. So it's good to try to bring people together and not tear them apart, which is that one. Which I'm having spelling issues, I'm sorry.
What's a whole different thing?
Yeah. Harsh words, or sweet. So, yeah, I mean, it's like when someone says something to you and your first instinct is to like yell or like get upset, you know, like try to hold back. So when you first start keeping the book, it's a lot about your actions towards others, and then the more you do it, it becomes sort of your thoughts get into the mix of where you catch yourself, but it's still like you thought it. So it's good to keep a track on your thoughts and your actions. So just be sweet to everybody, and then you don't have a problem with that one. And also listen.